Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT. I'm a little bit sick, and of course today is the day that they decide to release the ban list. I used my powers of Yugist intuition in order to get a copy of the ban list that I have not yet read. I know all of you are going to give me crap in the comments about how I printed something out without reading it. It's very easy. Just use the same tools that you use to not read cards in-game to not read the ban list. You can actually see right here, it's a complete unreadable, garbled mess. I'm going to have to look really, really closely to actually make heads or tails of it. So before we get into it, I want to talk real quick about what I want to see on the list. I did see that there were a ton of changes, and for that reason I'm hoping this is 1, the slaughter list, and 2, the end of the semi-limited list. As you all know, the thing that finally stopped Due Deck's dominance was not only the printing of a bunch of really powerful cards, but also the banning of almost every single relevant card in that format. I hope we get the same thing for the top 4 decks, because while they're not particularly oppressive or ridiculous, they are kind of over-centralizing. You know, it's not impossible to beat Sky Striker or Thunder or Orcust, but they are far and away the most consistent, the most recursive, and the most powerful decks of the format. I think that will continue given what we know is being released for at least another 4 or 5 months if something isn't done about them. Additionally, this is the only chance they're going to have to tweak the actual metagame before MR5 throws it into oblivion. You know, I don't want full power Thunder to exist untested in an MR5 environment, right? And I don't want them to overhit it by just assuming it's going to be really good and banning Colossus or something. So hope that a lot of the chaff is cleaned off the ban list as always. Hope that the semi-limited list is finally put to rest. And most importantly of all, hope the top 4 decks are slaughtered. Additionally, I just got my hero stuff in today. It just came in the mail. I am now the proud owner of both an Aduster Gold and a Malicious Bane, so please do not touch hero. Let's go to the list. Oh. Oh. Alright, so right off the bat, Forbidden Orcust Harp Horror. Well, we had a good run, but we all knew it had to end eventually. Orcust is the most ridiculous, most recursive deck that's existed probably in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I was expecting Babel to be hit. They didn't want to slaughter the deck. Obviously, Galatea or Orcust Harp Horror are the hits that end the deck forever. Probably there is some way to play without Harp Horror. I mean, you still do have the ability to send things to the graveyard with Nightmare. You still do have the ability to reborn things with the big man himself, Symbol Skeleton. So, I don't know, maybe, but seems unlikely. No. Oh, there goes Colossus. I'm glad I got my 1 week of hero play in. Thunder Dragon is dead as a doornail. This was a card you were never going to be able to balance around. Even if there was only one available, the deck still was going to live in some capacity. And unfortunately, Thunder Dragon Colossus was going to be made very available by the printing of the new Nemesis monsters that enable it. Rest in peace. I'm gonna miss my big old purple boy. Ib the World Chaliced Justicar. Now this I like very much. You can't keep Danglong on the ban list in good conscience and leave a better card legal. The core of every broken deck of the last like 2 or 3 months, Ib the World Chaliced Justicar was going to make Link Cross a problem. It also enabled these exceptional like Dragon Link strategies, Dragon Link adjacent strategies, and while they weren't beating up on meta routinely, they were critical parts of like a mismatch of stuff like the Thunder Dragon Crusadia combo decks, and those would certainly be good in a world where the top 4 super interactive decks are no longer a part of the metagame. Happy to see this one go, and anyone who synchro summons in 2020 is on my list. Tempest Magician. It's just for FTKs. I mean, there are probably FTKs you can do with this card, but they're not very good. Fine. I have no problem with it. Ban anything that deals damage, in my opinion. Azathoth! We lost Azathoth! Yes! So Azathoth is a card that has only existed to frustrate me specifically in recent months. Outer Entity Azathoth, of course, prevents your opponent from activating monster effects for the rest of the turn. Routinely was an exceptionally powerful game ender. You would rum into it on your opponent's turn. It became just as powerful when played in something like Lunalight Orcust as hand trap insurance. Happy to see that one go, though it was pretty much always going to end up there eventually. Mirage Stalio. Did not think Mirage Stalio was going to be the hit. I mean, truthfully, truth be told, I had no idea what the Salamangreat hit was going to be. Salamangreat is such an exceptional deck with so many moving pieces, and really the only things you could hit and have some semblance of the deck in any capacity is almost exactly Mirage Stalio or I don't know, limiting Sunlight Wolf, but that's just so ridiculous, to be honest. I guess it makes sense, but I'm not very happy about it. It really feels like they took the top 3 decks behind the shed and told them their time was up. Oh my god. Well, Triff, you made it to 20k, but it might be time to learn a second deck. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. What were we gonna do with you? Yeah, I mean, this always had to happen. I've been a long, fervent supporter of the fact that you can't just ban the top 4 decks and leave the 5th and 6th best deck completely untouched, especially when those decks are things like Pendulum that are so ridiculously uninteractive that a weaker format and the top 4 meta decks being slaughtered it's going to run rampant. I mean, the last thing that Konami wants is a repeat of like Spiral format, where a huge, uninteractive, recursive, repeatable deck was the top dog, and that's likely what would have happened if, as I expect, we see a Sky Striker hit further down on this list. Yeah, there was no way that this was going to be legal forever, and I think finally it had reached the pinnacle of its playability. Brilliant Fusion! What? I guess that makes sense. Brilliant Fusion is an incredible combo starter, one of the many pieces of the general Yu-Gi-Oh! Pie, the list of cards that sort of enable very powerful special summon-oriented decks, but it wasn't good. It was like you had to use your Darlingtonia Cobra search on it, and then like it binned a couple of cards, and maybe there's an FTK I'm missing or something, but it doesn't seem like that scary. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Yep, this one is not shocking. Not gonna lie, not shocked by this one at all. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage was not only an exceptionally powerful card because of the amount of cards it searched, it was also exceptionally powerful because it was so splashable. You can draw an extra card in almost anything, and getting individual tokens is so strong in a format where stuff like playmakers that special summon from the deck, like Needle Fiber exist, that there was really no way that a card that represents 2 free link material plus upside was ever going to be around forever. Rest in peace, you had 2 complete years of schlonging the format. I'll miss you. Alright, and we're on to Limited. Oh, Nessie! Good. So, with the danger of Nessie being moved to Limited, it makes me feel like the semi-limited list is no more. Let's keep going. Pankratops! Don't know about that one. I really liked Pankratops as a generic answer for decks going second. It never felt too oppressive, and I really liked it in decks that were just kind of good stuff oriented, like Trickstar, for example, whose field spell I hope goes to 3 later on this list, as like an alternate win condition in sticky games. But okay, I get it, I guess. Servant of Endymion, wow, really sticking it to Pendulum. This is a huge hit for the deck. I wouldn't have hit it this large, but I guess the deck still does exist in a post-Electromite universe if you're able to consistently find Servant of Endymion and use their effect repeatably. I mean, like, you don't really need the extra if you're going to end on something like an Endymion and a Jackal King, I suppose. So, good insurance from Konami. True King, Lithio... Whoa. Whoa. Lithio's back. Oh, well, this is a big problem. As you know, we're getting new dinosaur cards very soon, and Lithio, for those of you that don't remember, was a critical part of that deck when you were doing things like destroying Baby Ceresaurus and Petit Pteranodon in your hand. Lithio also rips cards from the extra deck, which means that occasionally it just like randomly wins the game. That's, I think, the original reason it was banned, but shocked to see this one back at all, to be honest. At least it's only back to 1. Card of Demise. In the eyes of the angels, Pack flies away. Why were we getting a Pacifist the Phantasm City hit? Are you out to spite me personally, Konami? How could you do this? Card of Demise draws 3 cards. And if you're hitting everything, I guess you have to hit True Draco, but oh, not like this. Not like this. Draconic Diagram. Like that. Yeah, like that. That's the one that I'm talking about. Hit it like that. Okay, well, there's your Destroy Cards in Hand hit. There's your True Draco hit. I mean, I'm very happy to see this card go to 1. I think it mirrors the OCG. They might actually have it banned. I don't remember. But more importantly, the fact that there's a lot lower impact field spells on the list at 1, and this remains at 3 and has remained at 3 for so long is just ridiculous. Most importantly, the best hands for True Draco are ones where they're able to loop Dragonic Diagrams into a Card of Demise to make up the lost amount of advantage over the course of the turn, so pretty happy that that's no longer possible from both avenues. Into the Void. Okay. I mean, it was only ever played in either extremely broken combo decks that built an unbeatable board turn 1 or FTKs, so whatever. Pot of Avarice. I see why they banned Engage. You can't let Pot of Avarice exist in the same format as Sky Striker because they can just tuck back Kagari extremely easily. This is frightening because Pot of Avarice is a very good card. It's not like these other things that they've been teasing off the ban list, things like Ritual Beast, Altai Canahawk. It is actually like a frighteningly strong option. I'm excited to see which decks are going to play it. I'll certainly be jamming it in things, and I hope that I'm not the only one. Sekka's Light to 1 as well. Like that very much. Pot of Greed is an exceptionally good card, and Sekka's Light was kind of a testament to the fact that actually you don't need spell cards to win anymore because monster effects have been so pushed for the last couple of sets that they can win the game on their own. This again curbs those decks that were playing things like Eve, well not Eve specifically because you'd search World Chalice, Guard Dragon, but you know what I'm talking about. Decks like Crusadia, Danger Thunder that were just playing monster combo to end on big link boards. This puts a nail in that strategy. Red Reboot to 1. I would have preferred to see Red Reboot banned. This is a big, huge slaughter list, and while we're ducking things that are extremely powerful, I'd like to see Super Polymerization go, which it looks like it wasn't, and Red Reboot moved to 1 as well. They're just cards that auto-win against certain strategies, and I don't like that. Don't think it's fun. Evenly matched at the very least, like, is a trap card. You know, there are mechanisms by which you can play around it. There's nothing you can do about Red Reboot. And semi-limited, we've got Deep Sea Diva. All right, excellent. Nice to see the semi-limited list being used for its intended purpose. A quarantine zone for cards that are probably okay, but we don't just want to shove to 3. Deep Sea Diva, of course, is being moved to 2 because Deep Sea Archetype is coming out pretty soon. They want to make sure that this isn't going to ruin anything, or if they need to preemptively hit something like Neptibus before then. Tour Guide from the Underworld, also fine. The Block Dragon BA deck looks to be still playable, even without Sekka's Light, so I'm excited to see TGU come back. And Mind Control to 2, okay, that's something I don't like. Don't like hits of extremely powerful cards just going to 2 because, like, then you'll draw them less. That's like a ridiculous min-maxing argument. Either put a card to 1 or ban it. Mind Control was not an extremely powerful card. Like, it was really, really good, but it wasn't, like, meta-warpingly strong. Don't like it. And Unlimited. Dad, great. Lady Debug, well, we don't have Mirage Stalio anymore, and I guess you have to push that new Cyburst archetype that's coming out. Morphing Jar number 2, Sleeve It Up Empty Jar in 2020. Perform Age Damage Juggler, fine. This card should have been at 3. I think last format was it moved to 2? It might have been 1 prior. Should have been moved to 3 very, very quickly. And also potentially playable in the Block Dragon deck. Perform Age Hat Tricker is an Earth, for example. Tribe Infecting Virus, excellent. From banned to 3. That might be the biggest non-errata move we've ever seen. Kagari to 3 as well. Oh. Yeah, I don't know about that. What? Kagari to 3? I mean, they banned Engage, and Engage is, of course, the problem card, but... yeah, that's fine. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, that's completely fine. Book of Moon... yeah, I mean, we all expected Book of Moon to be moved sometime. The Phantom Knights of Rank Up Magic launch. Okay, well, that literally just exists because Azathoth, its prime target outside of Kali Yuga, is banned, and Kali Yuga setups are terrible. Additionally, it was searchable off of Bardish, which, of course, remains on the ban list. Solemn Warning, pretty ridiculous that we had Judgment and 3, and Warning at 1. Now, all of the Solemn Brigade are at 3. You can play 3/3/3 and then lose all your rounds. And finally, Soul Drain went to 3. Well, this card would have been good if Orcust was still the best deck, but things have happened. It still might be very strong. So what do I expect in a post-ban list world? Well, firstly, boy do I like that I have the Guru shell built. My roommate actually moved off of Thunder Dragon onto Guru this last week, and he has got to be jazzed about this. Second, pretty upset that there is still no Ritual Beast Altai Canahawk at 3. Come on, this card is not that big of a deal, Konami. Give it back. And 3... man, I'm going to have to get brewing. I mean, it's almost impossible to even fathom what the top decks are going to be. Like, the best stuff that didn't get hit was, like, Guru, Cyber Dragon, but that's a very conditional deck. It requires a specific meta. Hero, notably, remains untouched, but, sheesh, I just don't know. Maybe we'll see Marincest topping. If you want to see what decks are going to be playable in the upcoming format, check out the Pro Play Games event this weekend, which I will be commentating at. That's not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, and we will certainly see what comes of this ban list. Really excited. These are the types of ban lists that reinvigorate my my love of the game because effectively it's just rotation. All of the decks are completely slaughtered and it's time to start brewing on the next big thing. I hope to find it before anyone else, and I hope I'll see you later today for 10-minute testing.